A pleasant morning to each and every one of you. So today we're going to discuss about one of the biomolecules that we have. So we have carbohydrates. So carbohydrates serves as an energy storage and transporter in our cell. So cell uses carbohydrates as structural material for fuel and to store and transport energy. So the basic thing is if we have glucose, which is known as the simple sugar that we have in our body, it serves as an energy, no, with the help of our mitochondria, which is known as the powerhouse of the cell. It acts as a catalyst, no, wherein the glucose is transformed rather into an ATP, adenosine triphosphate, also known as the energy in our body. Different complex carbohydrates can be built from same simple sugar. So this bullet just simply means that if you fuse together glucose and another glucose, you can form a complex carbohydrate. In our discussion, we will realize and we will also discuss the different types of complex carbohydrates like disaccharide and polysaccharides. In this picture or in our diagram, you can see the direction or the relationship rather of both animal and plant cell and how do they harness glucose in the whole process. So this process needs to be discussed because as you all know, glucose is the basic form of sugar and we are referring to carbohydrates. So realize that plants do photosynthesize. No, they create their own food. So that is the process. We need different compounds for these to commence. So one of two of the most important ingredient in photosynthesis is carbon dioxide, which the plant harness by absorbing the carbon dioxide within the environment. No, with the help of the stomata, no, carbon dioxide enters the plant cell. Another thing is we have water, which is one of the primary ingredient also in photosynthesis. So how does that happen? Plants absorb water in their roots, and water is passed down to the different parts of the plant cell with the help of the xylem, which is one of the best cell that the cell of the plant have. No, we have xylem for water and phloem for the nutrients. So with the help also of the sunlight, photosynthesis happens, and the byproduct of the photosynthesis is glucose, which is the simple form of sugar, and also another byproduct of photosynthesis is oxygen gas, no? Or oxygen. So oxygen is deposited outside of the plants, no, when it is not necessary or there's a surplus within the cell. So as a result, also this oxygen is ingested or inhaled by us human and also different animals that needs it. As a result, no, we will now focus on the cellular respiration. We humans and also animals consume plants, no, and these plants are our source of glucose. No, when we have fruits, we have vegetables, no, this contains simple sugar called glucose, and our body process it with the help of our digestive system and tear down apart these complexes of carbohydrates to become a glucose that we can use of. So our cell use our mitochondria, which is known as the powerhouse of the cell, and transport or convert this glucose into an ATP or adenosine triphosphate. As a result, as we also do cellular respiration, some byproducts emitted by human, no? One of which is carbon dioxide. When we eat, no, when we defecate, there are carbon dioxide that is deposited outside of our body because carbon dioxide is not necessary within our body because it is known as toxic, no? Surplus of carbon dioxide within the cell can become toxic. When we sweat, no, also, no, some carbon dioxide is also deposited outside of our body. Also, when we do cellular respiration, no, and we do have physical activities, we also need to balance our temperature in a process called homeostasis. To retain or to maintain the optimal body temperature, our body sweat or our sweat glands produce sweat, and we also do uh, release water in the process, no? So alongside with release of water within our skin, we also urinate because we need to clean our blood with the help of our kidney. So some nitrogenous wastes is deposited in our kidney, no, in our urinary bladder, and water alongside with the nitrogenous base is deposited outside of our body to maintain again homeostasis. So as you can see, this is the whole process or the relationship of photosynthesis with respect to glucose, carbohydrates, and animals and humans. So carbohydrates also is known to have hydrocarbons. No, pag sabing hydrocarbons, these are just a fusion or complex of carbon and hydrogen. So hydrocarbons are released in a process called uh, oxidation. No? Energy is released in a process called oxidation. So the very reason why we can harness energy is when we break down the bonds of the hydrocarbons within the carbohydrates. Another information, the term carbohydrates came from two words, carbon and hydrate. So carbon, alam naman na natin agad yung carbo. The term hydrates naman literally means oxygen and hydrogen, no? Or alcohol siya in other forms. So carbohydrates is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Sugar are among the most important energy storage molecule, and they exist in several different forms. So we have different complexes of sugar. We have monosaccharide, disaccharide, and polysaccharide. And we will discuss it in today's discussion. So also, one thing that you have to learn in carbohydrates is the ratio and empirical formula. One of the basic sugar that you must know is glucose with its empirical formula C6H12O6. No, the ratio of carbohydrate are as follows, or as follow: 1:2:1, meaning 1 part of carbohydrate, 2 part of hydrogen, and 1 part of oxygen. So that is the ratio of the carbohydrates. And if we're going to look at the trend of the empirical formula of glucose, which is one of the basic sugar, it also confirmed to the ratio of 1:2:1. No? If we're going to get the lowest term of C6H12O6, it will confer to 1:2:1 ratio that we can see above. Okay? In animals, carbohydrates are the primary source of dietary energy. Since carbohydrates do contain hydrocarbons, carbon and hydrogen, technically this is the easy access to energy, no? With the help of the mitochondria, ATP is being synthesized. In plants, since plants do photosynthesize, they have surplus of glucose within their body, no? Yung tao hindi nakakagawa ng glucose sa katawan, while plant can do so. So meaning they can produce their own food, and as a result, they also have surplus to it, no? Not all of it will be used for their metabolic processes. Some will be deposited to their body, no? Hence, in plants, this serves as a building material for much plant body. So, some of the sugar will go to cellulose or the cell wall of the plant, no? And that will serve as a structural support also of the plant. Okay? So, when we discuss carbohydrates, it is essential for us also to learn some of the basic functional group in chemistry. So we have two. We have the aldehyde group and also the ketone group, okay, or keto group. So we have here the example of aldose and ketose. Si aldehyde, as you can see highlighted by the red one, is C double bond O and then H on the carbon side. This is an example of aldose, okay? We also have ketone, no, or ketose. In our example, pag kasi ketone class, the double bond of oxygen to carbon is located in the middle of the chain. So if we're going to look in our example, makita si ketose or si ketone bond doon sa pinakagitnang part, no? Hindi siya pwedeng mapunta sa terminal part. Okay? So that is ketose or ketone. In our example, we have different or varieties in the number of carbons. We have N is equal to 3 or we have 3 carbon. We call it triose. Our example is glyceraldehyde. For 4 number of carbons, we have tetrose. We have triose and erythrulose. For 5 number of carbons, we have pentose, sugar. No? In our example, we have ribose that can be located or seen in the RNA because this is the backbone of the RNA or backbone sugar. For the 6 carbon, we have hexose, we have cellulose, and galactose. Carbohydrates can be classified according to, like what I have mentioned, we have monosaccharide, disaccharide, and polysaccharide. Okay? In analogy or in our example, we can associate monosaccharide as a simple hollow block, no, single hollow block. For disaccharide, the term or prefix di means two. So we have two hollow blocks. And polysaccharide, pag sinabing poly, many. There are lots of monosaccharide that can be located in here. So if we have building or wall, which are made up of many hollow blocks, these are our polysaccharide. So the term saccharide just simply means sugar. Okay, so if you know the prefixes mono, di, and poly, you can easily distinguish and define what is mono, di, and polysaccharide. Again, the term saccharide means sugar. And in our discussion, we're going to deepen your knowledge on the different complexities of carbohydrates. Okay, similar lang. Sir Mark, how does monosaccharide turns into disaccharide and polysaccharide, and vice versa? How does polysaccharide becomes a simple sugar monosaccharide? There are two ways or mechanism on how does this thing happen. First one, let us talk about how does a monomer or monosaccharide becomes a polymer or polysaccharide. There is this process called dehydration synthesis. The term dehydration just simply means water is lost within the system. Tama ba when we talk about dehydration? So how does that happen? In monosaccharide, there is an H group and hydroxyl group, H and OH. So when you fuse that together, it forms a water or H2O. So alongside with the release of water, bond is formed within the monosaccharide or monomer. Hence, we have disaccharide or we have a polymer. Okay, so that is the process, the dehydration synthesis. Sir Mark, how does polysaccharide becomes a monosaccharide? So that can be exhibited in our example. So if you're going to look at this one muna sa pinakataas, monosaccharide plus water, no? Ano nakikita natin? Monosaccharide pa rin siya because wala ka naman na dapat bond na putulin because you already have a simple one sugar. So that is the basic logic in here. How about in disaccharide? How does a disaccharide becomes a two monosaccharide? So there is this process called hydrolysis. How does hydrolysis happens? The term hydrolysis came from two words. Hydro means water, lysis means breaking down. So the term hydrolysis literally means breaking down of water. So how does that happen? So H2O in here breaks down and form H and OH. Again, H2O become H and OH or hydroxyl, and those two things binds to the disaccharide and that cleaves and cut the bond between the disaccharide. And as a result, when water is being used and break the bond between the disaccharide, it forms a two monosaccharide unit. No, in real life application, para tayo ay makatunaw ng mga large molecule in our body, we need to use water. Kaya po tayo uminom ng tubig, no? Water is also used to help the breaking down of this polysaccharide or disaccharide into a single unit of monosaccharide so that our body can use it in the cellular level. Okay? Similar process and mechanism happens in polysaccharide. So if we have a long chain of polysaccharide, we need also many water, no? Depending on the number of monosaccharide that we need to cut or cleave. Similar things or similar mechanism happen. So again, our body needs water. In a process called hydrolysis, water breaks down and those hydroxyl or OH and H fuse to the monosaccharide. Hence, we have lots or plenty of monosaccharide at the end of the hydrolysis process. Okay? So now let us discuss the monosaccharide, which is this means simple sugar or one sugar. So simple sugar contains as few as 3 carbon atoms, but those that play the central role in energy storage have 6 carbon sugar. So these are the basic 6 carbon sugar that we know of. Now we have glucose, fructose, and galactose. They are the building blocks, also known as monomer, for more complex sugar. Just like what I've mentioned for disaccharide and polysaccharide to become or to form, we need monosaccharide. No? They are highly soluble in water and they can pass through cell membranes and absorbed into cells. So unlike polysaccharide, monosaccharide are water soluble, meaning if you bond or if you put it in water, sugar or glucose, fructose, and galactose can easily be digestible or can easily be dissolved by the water because they are soluble in water. So we have here the monosaccharide, no? Just like what I mentioned earlier in our overview, about aldose and ketose, there are different numbers of carbon that is present in the simple carbohydrates monosaccharide. For the first one, we have the glyceraldehyde or G3P. 3-carbon sugar. Mapag-aralan ito sa Krebs cycle, no? Cellular respiration, glycolysis. In overview, no, sugar like glucose is cut down and become glyceraldehyde. So nagiging 3-carbon sugar siya. Okay, yun yung pinaka-basic concept. Para ma-process ng ating mitochondria. Another example is the 5-carbon sugar. We have ribose and deoxyribose. So if you're going to count the number of carbon in both bases or sugar of DNA and RNA, we have 5-carbon sugar. No? For 6-carbon sugar, we have glucose, fructose, and galactose. If we're going to look at that 6-carbon sugar, we have, no, fructose is very different from these two. No? Unlike glucose and galactose that are hexagonal in nature, fructose are pentagonal in nature. And the difference of glucose and galactose is located within the first carbon, no? The hydroxyl in glucose is located below, while the galactose's hydroxyl or OH is located above, no? So kapag glucose, beta. Alpha. Pagka galactose, ulit natin, pag glucose ay alpha, pag galactose ay beta. No, makikita yun yung hydroxyl. Nasa baba or nasa taas. Monosaccharide or simple sugar can contain as few 3 carbons, just like what I've mentioned, are often used as building blocks for larger molecule. The 5-carbon sugar ribose and deoxyribose are components of nucleic acid, and the carbons are conventionally numbered from the more oxidized end. So the numbering can be located within our diagram, no, from 1 to 6. So let us discuss what is monosaccharide glucose. Glucose is the most common monosaccharide that we know of, no? With its chemical formula C6H12O6, along with oxygen, it's the product of photosynthesis, just like what I mentioned earlier. In higher form of animals, it is the major free sugar molecule circulating our blood. It is an important energy source in both animals and plants because this glucose undergoes glycolysis, which is one of the process that happens in cellular respiration. And glucose are the one that is responsible in creating or manufacturing ATP with the help of mitochondria and different metabolic processes that we have in our cell. Galactose is a molecule linked with glucose, no? Molecule to form a lactose. So if you're going to look at galactose, is also found in complex carbohydrates and in carbohydrate containing lipids called glycolipids. So galactose are the one that is responsible in fusing two lipids. And where can we locate glycolipids? No, these are cell markers which occur in the brain and other nervous tissue for most animals. So when we have glycolipids, some of these are located within the cell membrane. And this has something to do with cell-to-cell communication. No? So since this is present in the nervous tissue, for the signal to travel from one cell or one nerve cell to the other, we have the complexes of lipids and sugar. Hence, we have glycolipids in our example. Fructose is a simple sugar where it is often bonded to glucose to form the disaccharide sucrose. So fructose is occur or is contained in fruits, sugar canes, sugar beets, and maize. Honey and syrup also contain fructose. So most all vegetable and fruits do contain fructose. Okay? And again, one of the distinct characteristic or structure of fructose, it's pentagonal shape. So we have here the 6-carbon sugar, glucose, fructose, and galactose. Organic compounds with the same molecular formula but different structure, such compound are known as isomer. So the similar thing about this 6-carbon sugar, aside from having 6 carbon sugar, is they have They all have similar chemical formula, which is C6H12O6, no? But they differ in structure. Just like what I mentioned, when they differ in structure, technically they differ also in function. So kung bibilangin mo lahat yung number of hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, pare-pares lang yan, but they have different structure, no? They call as an isomer when they have chemical or molecular formula, but different structure. Glucose, fructose, and galactose all have the same molecular formula. However, they differ their molecular structure. So they are known as isomers. In our example, we also have the aldose and ketose, no? Or the aldehyde and ketone. Pag aldehyde class, yung C double bond O is located at the terminal part. When we talk about ketone, it is located, or the double bond of oxygen is located in the middle of the chain. So in our example again, aldose or aldehyde sugar in triose, also known as glycer aldehyde, as you can see, the oxygen is located in the terminal part, while in ketose, in triose, makikita natin oxygen is located in the middle. We call it dihydroxyacetone. Okay? Alcohol pa rin yan. Kasi may OH. But double bond O or ketone is located in the middle part. Another is the pentose or 5 carbon sugar. Ribose is known as aldehyde because double bond O is located in the terminal part, while the ribulose is known as a ketone because double bond O is located in the middle part. Last example is we have the hexoses or the 6 carbon sugar. Glucose and galactose both have their double bond O located in the terminal part, while fructose have their double bond O located in the middle part, hence we call it ketone or ketose. We are done with the monosaccharide. Now let us dig deep to the disaccharide, also known as 2 sugars, okay, or double sugar. They are formed by linking 2 monosaccharide together in a process called dehydration synthesis. So the hydroxyl group and the hydrogen fuse together to form water. Water is released within the system. Glycosidic bond is formed within these 2 disaccharide. Serves as a transport molecule in plant and provide nutrition in animals. Disaccharide serves as an effective reservoir of glucose because the enzyme that normally use glucose in the organism can't break the bond link the 2 monosaccharide subunits. Enzymes that can do are typically present only in the tissue that uses glucose. So in our example in here is an overview. We have sucrose, lactose, and maltose. And these complexes of sugar or disaccharides, disaccharides ay just a fusion of both monosaccharide or simple sugar that we have studied earlier. We have glucose, fructose, and galactose. In our first example, we have maltose. Maltose is a fusion or just a fusion of both glucose and glucose or 2 glucose molecule. Maltose or malt sugar is disaccharide made up of 2 subunit of glucose found in malt and saliva. So one of the basic application of it in real life, if you are familiar with beer, some beer are created with malt, no? Malt is a plant-based food, no? And when it undergoes fermentation, technically, since this is made up of lots of sugar or glucose, no? Talagang sobrang tamis. If not matamis, sobrang dami niyang glucose molecule sa system niya or sa mismong drinks. So what is the catch? Drinking beer can give you lots of calories and glucose in your body. There is this study that suggests that 1 can of beer can give you or is equivalent to 6 slices of bread. So ganun kadami yung number of glucose in maltose. Imagine, and those sugar needs to be used by our body and kailangan niya maging ATP. Paano kung inactive or sedentary ang life mo? So what will be the catch or the tendency? This glucose will be reserved within your body. Hence, you will have lots of energy reservoir. No, hindi naman lahat magagamit. No, depende kung gaano ka ka-active. And some sugar will be converted into fats. Okay. Next one, we have sucrose. When glucose form a disaccharide with the structural isomer fructose, the resulting disaccharide is sucrose or table sugar. So if we're going to look at this one, we have glucose. that is located in the left side, and fructose, the pentagon one, located in the right side. So what happens in here? So nag-fuse sila, and then we have sucrose, or known as the table sugar. It's one of the sweetest sugar that we know of. And saan ba gawa ang table sugar? Gawa lang din po ito sa processed sugar cane. When sugar cane or tubo sa Tagalog is processed, pinakuluan yung kanyang sap or yung kanyang katas, no, it can give rise to sugar that we know of. Since tubo or sugar cane is also plant-based, meron itong glucose at meron itong fructose. For the last one, we have lactose. When glucose is linked to stereoisomer galactose, the resulting disaccharide is lactose. Again, in our example, we have glucose and galactose that is fused together. The right side is the glucose, the left side is the galactose. So when you fuse that together, it can give rise to lactose, which is also known as the sugar milk. Okay? So let's skip that one. Another, for the last type of sugar, we have polysaccharide. So in polysaccharide are longer polymer made up of monosaccharide that have been joined through dehydration reaction. So just like what we look or we can see in our slides, there are lots of number of glucose that can be located in our example of polysaccharide. Polysaccharide are made up of hundreds of glucose. So imagine, napakadami ng polysaccharide, no? There are other book that suggest the term oligosaccharide. Oligosaccharide is just also another complex sugar or carbohydrates that is made up of 2 to 6 sugar molecule or monosaccharide na 6. In our example, we have polysaccharide. They are insoluble in water, so they do not change in water potential within the cell. So when you mix it with water, hindi agad siya made-dissolve, unlike monosaccharide. There are larger molecules which cannot diffuse through the cell membrane, so they will not be lost from the cell. They can easily hydrolyze to glucose when needed, for example, in tissue respiration. So just like what I have mentioned, this long chain of polysaccharide is used by our body, no? Kapag na-hydrolyze ito, pag naka-cut or naka-cleave yan, pwede rin gamitin ng ating katawan as a source of sugar or glucose. No? Kapag kinat may isa dyan, automatic may sugar ka na. And those sugar can be used for tissue and cellular respiration. Okay? One example of starch is this one. One example of polysaccharide is starch, which can be located in a plant cell. Storage form of carbohydrates in plants is known as starch. They can synthesize glucose, no, in a process called photosynthesis, and the excess glucose that has been manufactured later on turn into a starch. Okay, so the different parts include the roots and the seed. Potato, no, which is the most common root crops that we know of, do contain lots of starch because the sugar that has been manufactured in the photosynthesis is located within the roots. So, yun yung storage. Okay? So, we have here the component of the starch. We have the amylose and amylopectin. So, si amylose is unbranched ang kanyang itsura. So, it is a long chain of sugar, while amylopectin naman in our example is branch. Makikita natin meron siyang branch dito. Siyempre, branch nga yun. Look natin. Amylose is unbranched, amylopectin is branch. Okay? Next one, we have cellulose. It protects plant cell from bursting or being apoptosis, pagputok ng plant. No? Structural support in the cell wall of the plant. So, kung titingin tayo dito, this is this plant, and the plant is composed of different parts. The cell wall is the outermost part of the cell, and if we're going to look at the cell is made up of cellulose, and the cellulose are made up of different microfibrils and glucose molecules. So imagine nyo, class, the hydrogen bonds, ilang hydrogen bonds ang kailangan para makapag-bond ng sugar molecule. A polysaccharide that is located within the cellulose, so napakadami, hundreds yan. For sure. Or thousands pa nga kung bibilangin mo isa-isa. Cellulose cannot be digested in our intestine. They serve as dietary fibers that prevents constipation. We human lack the enzyme that used to process cellulose. No? Kaya wala tayong cellulase. So anong catch? We cannot process this in our intestine. So as a result, when we ingest food that are high in fiber, our body cannot react properly. So as a result, the cellulose within the plant that we eat still the remnant of it is still at our feces, no? Kapag dumumi tayo, nakikita pa rin naman natin yung mga mais, yung cell wall ng mais, yung mga kangkong, et cetera, because we do not have cellulase, an enzyme that used to break down cellulose. Next one, we have glycogen, a branch molecule made up of many glucose molecule joined together. It is a storage form of carbohydrates in mammal. When needed, it is digested to glucose, provide energy for cell activity, and usually ang storage nito ay sa muscle cell and liver. Imagine liver is one of the largest organ that you have internally, so it has lots of function, no? From lipid synthesis, from glucose, from glycogen to glucose production. So napakadami niyang ginagawa. Also, glycogen is located within our muscle cell or particularly in our skeletal muscle because these are the sites wherein sugar is needed, no? Because our muscle needs ATP. Hence, proximity ang pinag-uusapan natin, no? Sugar or glycogen or the storage of sugar needs to be located within an animal cell or skeletal muscle to be particular so that when we move, doon na tayo kukuha ng ating sugar and we can produce an ATP. So in summary, monosaccharides and disaccharides are a good source of energy in a living organism. They can be used in respiration and they can contain adenosine triphosphate or ATP. They are also monosaccharide and disaccharide are soluble because they are in form which carbohydrate are transported to an organism's body. No, na sila napaka-simple form. In animal, glucose is transported dissolved in blood plasma. In plants, sucrose is transported into the phloem sap or phloem bundles. They serve as a substrate for respiration to provide energy for cell activities. They form supporting structure, for example, cell wall in plant. Carbohydrates also are destined to be converted into organic compounds such as amino acid and fats when there is a surplus na nagkakaroon ng complexes. Yung sugar na hindi nagamit will fuse to the fats or lipids, hence it produces glycolipids. Some will fuse to amino acid. They are the building blocks for the formation of nucleic acid. For the DNA example, it has deoxyribose. For RNA, it has ribose. They synthesize lubricants, for example, mucus, which consists carbohydrates and proteins. They also synthesize nectar in some plants because nectar do contain a sweet liquid that is used to attract plants for pollination. This contains carbohydrates. So that ends the mark of our discussion. I hope you listen carefully because this will be part of our assessment. Thank you and have a great day ahead.